happened at about 5:30 this morning. Police responded to a domestic violence assault with a deadly weapon call in the North Tryon Division. Officers say they took Officer 1 Cypress Williams into custody after questioning. He's facing 2 counts of assault by pointing a gun and is now on paid leave while Internal Affairs investigates. Chief Johnny Jennings issued a statement saying, in part, "I am deeply troubled by the arrest of Officer Williams. Our department holds itself and its officers to the highest standards of conduct, both on and off."
The 61-year-old woman was released from jail early this morning. She then went straight to the hospital. Now, the city of Sweetwater is also sharing their version of the story. They've released a longer portion of the video showing the moments before and after that forceful takedown. Police body cam video released by the city of Sweetwater shows an officer asking Vivian Hernandez to leave the main office of Lil Abner Park.
Yo no te voy a levantar la mano. Yo estoy en mi derecho de decir. No te quieren aquí, vamos.
Hernandez refuses to leave the office, and then the situation escalates.
Óyame, pero ¿por qué? Me puse delante de la cámara.
Hernandez says management called police after she stood in front of the surveillance camera and said what's happening at the mobile home park is disrespectful. The 61-year-old was arrested, and after her release from jail, she went straight to the hospital after she says this forceful arrest led to pain and injuries.
Look at
my eye. They broke my glasses against the floor. I have many contusions on my head. That's what the results at the hospital showed, says Hernandez. In a statement, the mayor of Sweetwater said this is an unfortunate situation for all. However, as part of our use of force policy, my command staff will conduct a thorough review of the incident to ensure all legal guidelines were met. The demolition of the mobile homes began yesterday, and everyone must be out by May of 2025. Reporting in Sweetwater, I'm Laura Rodriguez, NBC6 News.
I spoke to the family who owns the dog. They are very upset by all this. They didn't want to go on camera, but tell me they were inside making Christmas Eve dinner when they heard the gunshot and immediately rushed out and found their dog dead.
How far was that with the dog?
Raleigh police say an aggressive dog charged at an officer and the officer shot the dog. This happened on the 3900 block of Aldergrove Lane. The owner tells me the dog is a 15-year-old husky named Maxie. They say Maxie is trained and often goes outside alone without a problem. The owner rushed out when they heard gunshots. Maxie died on their front lawn. Raleigh police say officers were in this neighborhood investigating a stolen vehicle around 5:45 p.m. The family tells me they heard the gunshots around 6.
Hey, is the officer okay? Officer 10-4, dog charged at him, he fired, shot.
The spokesperson for the Raleigh Police Department says, quote, "This is not the result we want, especially on Christmas Eve." RPD says it will conduct an internal investigation to see if any actions need to be taken against the officer, adding that they are working with the family.
Crazy. Unbelievable.
A state trooper on the wrong side of the law. Police say Zachariah Kent is a repeat offender accused of shoplifting dozens of times at Target in Millbury and Worcester. Police say he was caught on camera swiping more than $1,000 worth of merchandise from the stores.
It's crazy. Hey, my father said if you want something and if you need something, work for it. Go get it. If you don't have it, wait till you can.
Investigators say it was part of a scheme called skip scanning, where a person uses the self-checkout option to pay for some items, but skip paying for others. As a former big box worker for 22 years, shopper Terry Griffin says he saw the scheme play out often.
Say there are 4 items, right? And they put 4 items on the counter, scan 2, put the other 4 in the bag. And nobody's watching them.
Now you have a pattern. And at this point, you have to put an end to it.
Retired state police veteran and law enforcement expert Todd McGee says as loss prevention officers build their case, they weigh the lost revenue to the store and how often they're getting hit.
In this particular case, when you have a repeat offender, and apparently this trooper was one of those repeat offenders, I would think that now this person comes on radar, they know who they're looking for when this person comes into each location.
State police say Trooper Kent has no other previous disciplinary history. In a statement, they say the Massachusetts State Police does not tolerate theft or dishonesty, and we hold our members accountable to the highest professional standards. State police say the trooper has been suspended without pay, and an internal investigation has been opened. In Millbury, Tammy Matassa, WBZ News.
Good morning, and welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m. bright and early right here at home on the range.
Thank you so much for being here today, folks. I really appreciate it. We're going to start our day out in Redding, California. That's true. I used to play lots of gigs in Redding, California. Doc's Sky Lounge. You guys remember that place. Anyways, this cop, I get the pleasure of delivering bad news to this bad apple. And the bad news is lawsuit against Redding and former RPD officer moving to trial. Whoa. It's moving to trial, Mr. Bad Apple. Let's find out. Redding, California, lawsuit against the city of Redding and a former police officer for the city, Jacob Provencio, is now set to move toward a jury trial. We know what that means. Lawsuit from Redding residential Rebecca McClellan centers around the alleged inappropriate actions taken by Provencio during a traffic stop, who at the time was known as one of the top DUI officers in the city. Ooh, Provencio. Okay, the incident allegedly occurred on August 6, 2020, after McClellan was pulled over after leaving the hen house in Redding. The suit alleges Provencio and an unnamed officer inappropriately frisked McClellan several times despite her request for a female officer. It goes on to allege that after officers determined she was under the influence, Provencio put her under arrest, allegedly injuring her arm and rib cage in the process. The suit also claims he took the opportunity to feel McClellan up when putting her in the squad car. Oh, Provencio, you goofball. The suit alleged that he not only abused McClellan but gained sexual pleasure from doing so. Provencio allegedly followed up with a text and a voicemail to McClellan's phone following the incident. Whoa, hey baby, what you wearing? Allegedly. The suit goes on to claim an internal investigation was performed over the next year, and in 2022, it found Provencio at fault for improper conduct during the stop, which inspired McClellan to move forward with the lawsuit in August 2022. Oh, Provencio, you big knucklehead. After several years of pretrial hearings, a jury has been set for July 2025. Several years of pretrial hearings. Goodness. The deadline for filing deposition motions was set for January 31st, 2025. Provencio's last day working for the city was May in 2023. Ooh. Although it's not clear if he was let go or if he left her on his own volition. They always let him leave on their own volition. Okay, 2 other lawsuits against Provencio, whoa, have cost the city just over $140,000. However, McClellan is asking for $5 million in damages. Of course, you know how it works, you guys. As of Monday afternoon, neither she nor the city's attorneys replied to requests for comment. Okay, so Provencio is going to be the latest multi-millionaire cop. That's right. For being a bad apple. You be a bad apple, become a multi-millionaire. It pays. On with the show.
This morning, a school security guard in Colorado Springs faces felony child abuse charges after being accused of breaking the arm of a 12-year-old. Parents were alerted to the situation last week. Taryn Stanley is now on administrative leave. According to arrest documents, horseplay led to the security guard putting a 12-year-old into an arm lock. The district has not said which school was involved. Stanley says he apologized to the child and took him to the school nurse. Later that night, a visit to an urgent care confirmed the child had a broken elbow. Right now, the school is investigating.
Breaking news tonight, the former Laverne Police Chief Beryl Chip Davis arrested this evening, charged with aggravated stalking. Davis was fired from the Laverne Police Department in 2023 after 5 officers were accused of having sex while on duty. Investigators say Davis knew what was happening and covered it up. Earlier this month, Davis was decertified as an officer. The reason for Davis's arrest are not clear yet.
This is shocking news. The Justice Department sues Louisiana for holding prisoners past their release date. What's going on down there? The Justice Department has filed a lawsuit against the state of Louisiana and its corrections department for unlawfully imprisoning thousands of people for weeks and months after their sentences are completed. Thousands of people, folks. Dang. Since at least 2012, the Justice Department alleges more than a quarter of people due to be released from the custody of Louisiana Department of Public Safety and Corrections each year are held past their release dates. Shocking. The lawsuit alleges the pattern is a violation of the Due Process Clause in the 14th Amendment to incarcerate people indefinitely, as the Corrections Department does here, not only intrudes on individual liberty, but also erodes public confidence in the fair and just application of our laws. No duh. Okay, federal prosecutors blame the state's deliberate indifference and chronic procedural failures for a years-long pattern of detaining people after they are legally entitled to release. Court filings allege that Louisiana unlawful detainment costs the state more than $2.5 million each year. Extreme loser knuckleheads. Okay. The lawsuit follows multi-year DOJ investigation that concluded the state unlawfully detained people after their sentences were up. The Justice Department said it seeks an injunctive relief to address the issues identified in its probe. Well, get on with it, DOJ. So, in a 26-page complaint filed by the U.S. District Court in the Middle District of Louisiana, the Justice Department said it found that this pattern, blah, 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 it's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff. We know what they're doing. Not good. Bunch of losers down there in Louisiana. Louisiana losers. All right, let's move on with the show.
There will be no criminal charges for a veteran Cleveland police officer who did not call in a pursuit. The chase happened last February, and it ended in Lindale when a man slammed into a semi and died.
News 5 investigator Tara Morgan first uncovered the pursuit and deadly crash in city records, and she's been reporting on it since March.
And I know he's with God. He's in a better place than this place, where if you make a U-turn, you get killed.
Michael Yearout died February 19th when he ran a red light and crashed into the undercarriage of a semi at West 117th and Bel Air in Lindale. Surveillance video shows the officer pull out from a daycare and get behind Michael with lights on after Michael started to turn left where it's restricted at certain times, but then didn't turn.
If they would have just took his license plate and sent him a ticket.
Earlier this year, News 5 investigators uncovered an internal city memo showing the pursuit was never called in by the officer.
10 months after the crash, police tell me the case has been criminally cleared by both the city and Cuyahoga County prosecutors' offices. The division will now look into whether policy was violated.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. No. They've been cleared.
Criminally.
Oh.
The officer has been with the Cleveland Division of Police since 2007. Police say the case will be reviewed at different levels within the division. If violations are believed to have been found, a hearing is set.
I want to know what's going to happen to this cop. In my heart, in my mind, you're the reason why my son's where he's at.
Michael's father, Greg, wants the officer fired. In August, Greg says he filed a complaint with the Office of Professional Standards after sharing his story at a community meeting. The Community Police Commission wanted input about Cleveland police pursuit policies.
Why is he still working? How many times has he done this to another family? How would you like this to have been done to him with his daughter, with his son?
This Christmas, they say their grandchildren will be their distraction from the pain. Michael left behind 6 kids.
My other children make me strong. And my 13 grandkids, I hold on to it.
Here's a mugly cop, and that's his mugly mug shot. All right, what did this goofball do? Donna police officer. Oh, who's holding Donna police officers accountable now? We are. Okay, he's charged with public intoxication. Oh, an off-duty Donna police officer was arrested last month after the South Padre Island Police Department received a call about an intoxicated male who was being aggressive and mentioned having a firearm. Stupid cop. Officers arrested Eric Mauricio Perez, age 42, of blah, blah, blah. South Padre Island police officers responded to the Isle Grand Hotel, located at the 500 Padre Boulevard, in reference to the disturbance involving the intoxicated male who was being aggressive, and he mentioned having a firearm. Oh. Well, that's what he did. He looks like an idiot. The charge is Class C misdemeanor, which is punishable by a $500 fine or less. That's it. Okay, Perez pleaded no contest. He couldn't be reached for comment at a phone listed in the number. Oh, come on. We want to know what Perez has to say. Why do you look like such a mean goofball? A thumb with a beard. All right. Perez joined the Donna Police Department in 2008. Oh, he's been there a while. According to documents released under the Texas Public Information Act, he served on the the department's SWAT team, of course. Man, I've seen some things and stuff. Okay. He received a promotion to detective in 2015. Donna assigned Perez to federal task force. Oh, the bigger they are, the stupider they are, right? The higher up the ladder they climb, well, let's watch him fall here. Detective Perez is an extremely dedicated no, he's not. He's an idiot. Detective Perez is an asset. No, he's not. He's a stupid idiot. It's not clear what, if any, disciplinary action Donna took after Perez was arrested. Probably none. That's why we're going to put him on the cover of the Bad Apple Report. All right, Donna Police Chief Gilberto Guerrero declined to comment. Oh, come on, Gilbert. Goofball. All right. That's all we know about this violent thumb with a beard. Okay. With that, we shall move on with the show.
There are sheriff's deputies and police officers who found themselves on the wrong end of the law in 2024, facing charges ranging from possession of child pornography to family violence and DWI. But as KSAT Investigates Dylan Collier reports, for the third year in a row, deputy and officer arrests have decreased overall.
The 7 Bexar County Sheriff's deputies and cadet applicants arrested this year, 2 have already seen their criminal cases play out. Deputy Joshua Martinez was charged in February with tampering with records after investigators said he threw a female inmate to the ground and was then untruthful about the incident in his formal report. The case was dismissed for further investigation in early June. After BCSO Sergeant Houston Pons was charged with DWI in early April, he was admitted to the county's Veterans Treatment Court, where judgment in the case was deferred in late October. He surrendered his peace officer's license, must use an ignition interlock device for 6 months, and will remain on community supervision for 2 years, among other conditions set by the court. BCSO cadet applicants Cesar Merced Lozano and Joseph Matthew Juarez, arrested 2 months apart this summer for possession of child pornography, are both awaiting indictment. Overall, BCSO arrests were down more than 20% this year compared to 2023. San Antonio police officer arrests, meanwhile, were down nearly 50% this year, as only 5 officers were criminally charged, meaning arrests in the county's 2 largest law enforcement agencies were down a combined 33%. For SAPD, the list includes Officer Albert Sanchez, arrested in January for possession of child pornography. Sanchez was indicted last week on 24 felony counts. Officer Andrew Gonzalez was arrested in mid-July after sheriff's deputies said he threatened to harm a female family member. Gonzalez was admitted to Veterans Treatment Court last month, and his case will be reviewed in November 2026. If he completes the program successfully, no criminal conviction will appear on his record.
You don't see law enforcement leaders all of a sudden throwing the regular citizens under the bus, right?
Willie Ning, who spent 30 years in law enforcement and now works as an adjunct professor of criminal justice at University of the Incarnate Word, cautioned against assuming guilt when law enforcement departments publicize the arrests of one of their own.
We deal with evidence, and until we see the evidence, we should be making statements.
For KSAT Investigates, I'm Dylan Collier.
Not even this slick, kindly-looking bad apple is going to escape the clutches of the bad apple report. No siree. Second jury ordered for former Lancaster County deputy a misdemeanor case. A second jury has been ordered for this guy in his misdemeanor case. Must be a hell of a misdemeanor. What's going on here? A second jury trial was ordered on Friday for a former Lancaster County deputy in his misdemeanor case. Damn. Okay. The jury trial is scheduled for February 27th. Ryan Schmamacher is charged with 2 counts of neglect to serve a misdemeanor warrant. Oh, you bad apple, you. It was probably on his mom or his cousin or something. I don't know, allegedly. According to court documents, the jury could not reach a verdict while covering on December 5th. Okay. They couldn't reach a verdict. They're like, why are we convicting this guy? Okay, the court found that with no new evidence, the jury would not reasonably reach a new verdict. The judge discharged his jury and ordered a whole new hearing. Just make him go serve the warrant and call it a day, all right? Unless it's some kind of conscientious objector, okay? All right, February 18th, LSO said that Sergeant Ryan Schmamacher had a run-in with 2 people with outstanding warrants. Oh, the deputy chooses not to arrest the 2 and told them to go pay their fines. According to Sheriff, he sounds like an okay guy. Schmamacher would later be cited in March by the Lincoln Police Department for 2 counts of blue line thugs coming down on this guy for being nice. Okay, following the citation for the 2 misdemeanor charges, Sheriff Wagner opened an investigation into Schmamacher and found that he had violated 3 policies. Ooh. Okay, the officers Merit Commission held a disciplinary hearing on April 23rd. The Sheriff Wagner had determined that Schmamacher would be subject to termination. Oh, come on. You got one decent guy on the force and you're going to fire him? Okay, he was fired from the sheriff's office on May 10th. Schmemmiker filed an appeal at the beginning of May, but it was denied. You need to go for that $5 million, Schmemmiker. I'm not a lawyer, so don't take my advice, but that other bad apple, you saw what he did. Okay, and he did some bad stuff, allegedly. Okay, June 10th, Schmemmiker filed a lawsuit arguing that the former deputy wasn't given ample opportunity to defend himself before the sheriff declined to punish was necessary, whatever, therefore violating his right to due process, indeed. Lawsuit also alleges Sheriff Wagner failed to enforce progressive disciplinary standards, operating protocol. Oh, a bunch of this, that, and the other. Listen, Schmemmiker, look at you. I'm going to guess that he doesn't have a bunch of killer tattoos and he doesn't have a blue line flag on the back of his car. It's just a guess. Okay, on with the show. All right, folks, we have another you know what to report on here on the Bad Apple Report. These diddlers, they have a choice to check out or go to prison. And some of them check out. This one checked out. Former Riverside County Sheriff's deputy accused of attempting X with a minor dies by his own hand. Former Riverside Sheriff's deputy Anthony Russo, age 52, was found dead inside his Arrow Bear Lake home Friday. The San Bernardino County Coroner's Office confirmed. He was arrested earlier this month after being accused of attempting to have X with a minor. Former Riverside County Sheriff's deputy arrested earlier this month. He's been accused of attempting to have, you know what? He did the deed. So Anthony Russo, 52, all right, that's all the information. That's really all you need to know. That's what happens. On with the show.
A retired Metropolitan Police officer is found guilty by a Washington judge after being accused of tipping off a leader of Proud Boys and then lying about it. Shane Lehman now faces up to 45 years in prison for feeding Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio information that helped him plan the January 6 attack on the Capitol. The former lieutenant led the D.C. Police's intelligence unit. He pleaded not guilty to obstruction of justice and 3 counts of making false statements. During the 2-week bench trial, prosecutors said Lehman covered up his communication with Tarrio, deleting messages and using an encrypted app. Conversations that showed Lehman telling him there was a warrant for his arrest for burning a Black Lives Matter flag during a Trump rally in 2020. Prosecutors allege Lehman pledged his support of the Proud Boys, saying he didn't want their reputation to be dragged through the mud. On Monday, the federal judge handed down the verdict, saying Lehman acted as an informant for the Proud Boys group. When asked if the Proud Boys would be at the march protesting the 2020 presidential election, Tarrio lied to the former officer and said it would be extremely small, downplaying the group's central role. Lehman's defense said his conversations with Tarrio didn't breach police conduct, and it's how law enforcement gathers evidence from sources. His lawyers argued Lehman was key in the arrest of Tarrio. Tarrio is currently serving 22 years for helping to coordinate the attack on the Capitol. Tarrio also testified he lied about receiving information from Lehman to other members of Proud Boys.
We're back, but we're done for the day. Thank you so much for being here. It was odd being off yesterday, but it was great to be off for Christmas Day. It was wonderful, but odd. It's hard to get back in the swing of things, even if you just take a few hours off. You guys are awesome. Again, I really do appreciate you. I'm going to whip up another batch of bad apples just for you, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. bright and early. Have a great day, folks.